and here to tell us a lot more about her own story, the story of the Thompson family, the story of Thompson Traders, and as we'll just have a conversation about Mexico and all the things you love. Alejandra Thompson, join me.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here tonight with us. It's a big honor to have all of you. This is incredible. Thank you. I hope you can understand my English.
Yes, we do.
Thank you.
So, Alejandra, just kind of touching on Santa Clara del Cobre and the copper. They've been entwined for hundreds of years. That's natural beauty in the material, natural beauty in the region that you grew up with. It just makes so much sense. There's a little bit of mystery. There's culture, there's natural resources, and then there's a faith and a belief that dates back to pre-Columbian times and has melted, much like copper, actually, now that I think about it, with Catholicism, and has become just unique to your area. And I know you directly are not from Santa Clara, but just very nearby. And you told me with so much love about the area that you're from. So I'd love for you to share that with everybody.
I would love to. I come from Pátzcuaro, Michoacán, which is very close to Santa Clara del Cobre, just a few miles. And Pátzcuaro is an incredible place. It's surrounded by volcanoes and mountains. It has a beautiful lake called Lake Pátzcuaro. And this is very famous all over the world because, perhaps you have heard, we celebrate the Day of the Dead. It's the biggest celebration in Mexico, and it happens in my hometown. So in Pátzcuaro, in the Lake of Pátzcuaro, we have several islands, and they are inhabited just by Tarascan Indians. Tarascan is the name that the Spaniards gave, but it's the Purépechas, as you said. And this is a fascinating culture for me that I grew up there. It's very, very interesting because they have their own language. It's not a dialect, it's a language. They have their own culture. They have not been able to be conquered by anybody. The Spaniards came to that area in the 1500s, early 1500s, and about 1532, the king of Spain, that was Charles V, sent his best man, an old man called Don Vasco de Quiroga, that was a lawyer, and he was already 60 years old. He sent him to Mexico because he was quite unhappy by the things that he have heard that were happening in that area. By the way, the Purépechas, that was the original name, they had a kingdom, and it was very sophisticated. It was like the Aztecs. They had everything. When Don Vasco de Quiroga finally came, he came first to Mexico City. And he was a very well-off man, and of course he gave the entry from the king. So he, with his own money, he started doing hospitals in Mexico City. He was a visionary, he was an incredible human being, a lawyer, 60 years old. So he went to Pátzcuaro, my town, and he was fascinated to see the amount of talent that it was happening among all the people. So he had a vision, and he decided to organize all these towns according to their talent. So he, in a way, he put groups together that were doing the same art. They were the best artisans in the country. And so he divided groups according to their talents, and 500 years later, that is now, you go to all around the Lake of Pátzcuaro, which is where all the Purépechas live, the same tradition. Some are Catholic, as you said, some still are not, but you go and you find that they have their own talents. For example, you go to Quiroga, and in Quiroga they specialize in leather. So you find leather pants, leather jackets, leather purses, leather, everything to perfection. You go to my town, Pátzcuaro, and it's lacquer work, and it's beautiful. And they do it with silver leaf and gold leaf. Then you go to Paracho, Michoacán. I don't know if you have heard about Paracho, but to me it's incredible because some of the best guitars in the world come from Paracho. And they also do violins. They are experts. Then you go to a little town close to Paracho, that is close, it's called Cheran. They have the best carvings. The best carvers in the world come from there. You can go and ask for anything, and it happened there. Then you go to Sinsunsan, and Sinsunsan is an amazing town, and they do all the straw work, from carpets, to picture frames, to chandeliers, to placemats, to Christmas ornaments, to oversized pieces, you name it. For designers, it's paradise. It's beautiful. And then you go a little outside the town, and they do the chuspata. And chuspata, all of you have seen it. Is this furniture that is, how do you call it, Clifford? Is Clifford here? The material for the chuspata, how is it called in English?
It's called chuspata, but it's like a reed.
A reed. You all have seen it. Those chairs for the outdoors that they have animal figures and monkeys and, okay, it comes from there. Then you go to Erongaricuaro, and in Erongaricuaro you find the most incredible painted furniture. And then you go a little outside Erongaricuaro, and then you have tables and chairs, and you name it. And I could go on and on and on forever. And honestly, it was all thanks to Don Vasco de Quiroga, that visionary that decided to help and organize these people and make it possible and create an industry out of this. So that is a little of the history of where I come from. I come from Pastor, but I get so excited because I love what goes on in that town.
When do we leave?
Right now. Tomorrow.
Yes, do we have volunteers?
Honestly, it's a paradise. It's really a paradise for designers, eh? It is a paradise. I come from there, and every time I get fascinated by the beauty of every product.
And I wanted to ask you about, but I will do that later. I just wanted to ask you about the inspiration, but I think I know what you'll be saying, because that seems to be very obvious. I'd love to dig into your own childhood and hear what your day was like. Who were you as a child, and what did you do in this magical area? By the way, Pátzcuaro?
Yes.
I got this. Lago di Pátzcuaro. Unbelievable. It reminds me of Avalon. So if I had to have the Mists of Avalon, there's an island in the middle. It's magical. And again, I'm going to use that word a lot, but that was my first impression when
it is wonderful, right? It is really
beautiful.
It's beautiful.
So paint us a picture. Paint us a picture of a day in your home.
A day in my home. Okay, as a child?
Yes.
Oh, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Yeah, it was magic. I lived in the biggest square in the plaza. All those houses around the square had a courtyard in the middle. You go in the morning, you went in the morning, open the window, and you saw the courtyard. So I was able to see if my friends were outside or maybe in their bicycles or roller skating, and it was very exciting because, let me tell you one important thing, I was the youngest of 14 children.
Oh my word!
Yes. Wow. But guess what? It's incredible because I didn't grow up with any children. By the time I was 9, everybody in that house, they were all married. That was a big mistake. So I really had a wonderful, the best childhood. So I grew up basically by myself. My sisters and brothers were already married. Every day during the school year, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. I felt very free. I felt very loved because at that time, you knew everybody and everybody knew you. It was a small community of people that were wonderful, that were incredible. In that square, most of my relatives lived. So my aunt lived next door, the other aunt lived next door, my cousins, my friends. So you felt very, very safe, and you felt like a lot of company. And during the summers, it was the best. Because we had a sugar refinery, and since I didn't have any brothers or sisters, I invited my friends. So we all went, and we were riding horses, and it was really paradise. It was beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah, there's a lot to be learned from growing up with confidence, I think, when you have that sort of
in a little town,
that sort of basis.
Yes.
And I'm told that when you were about 11, something equally magical happened when someone got off the bus to come and visit your town.
Yes. Do you want me to talk about that?
Yes, I
do. Okay, I need a sip of water.
Please do. Is it water good enough? Or?
Yes, I was 11 years old. The one that's my husband now was almost 13. My family, as I told you, everybody was married, and my husband's family met my brother-in-law. So they start sending Cliff, my husband, to Mexico every summer. So this summer, my sister and my brother that lived 3.5 hours away from us came to my house, got this little boy. I was coming back from church, going up the stairs, and I saw this little boy with white hair, very tiny, and I was able to see that they were green eyes. And he had a beautiful smile, and he had a dimple, and I love dimples. So I was only 11, and I looked at him, and I thought, what a wonderful opportunity to have a friend from another country. Because remember, this is almost 60 years ago, and at that time, those towns were very narrow-minded. People didn't let you become friends with somebody that they didn't know, and for me to have an American friend, my God, incredible. So we became friends. He didn't speak Spanish, of course. Now I don't speak English, can you imagine? Yes. So, non-existent. So we communicate, I don't know how, but we became very good friends. And it took, he was very wonderful. He kept writing letters to me. Of course, letters that I could understand, so I kept them 2-3 letters a year. It's at the time that technology was non-existent. The telephones you had to, I remember my parents' house, you had to do this and call the lady and said, can you please communicate me to my aunt? And they did it. So to my grandmother's house, I didn't even need to say the name, the town was so little. Anyway, he kept coming. Every summer, he stayed with my sister. I didn't see him much, but sometimes we took him to the farm and to ride horses, and he was part of the family. And years went by, and when I was 16, we were having dinner on this long table in my parents' house. And guess what he did? He proposed. I was only 16, so I looked at him, and I thought he was joking. And I'm sorry, I think I was a little rude because 16, come on, who proposed? So of course I said no. I said no, and then, you know, he left, he kept writing to me, we kept talking once in a while, and he kept coming every summer, but I was dating somebody else, he met the people that I was dating, and when I was 19 and a half, he proposed again. And I was engaged. So it was painful and horrible to have to say no. Then I changed my mind. And I canceled completely my engagement a month before I got married. Because I really thought, this is the love of my life, I cannot do this, and I have to marry Cliff. So I immediately communicated, I immediately let him know, and he didn't react quickly. It took him about a year to come back. But then he came back, and I said a big yes, and my family was against it, my aunts were against it. They thought, not because they were against Cliff, but because they thought we were completely different, and we are. Black and white, completely different. Nothing, we have very little in common, but guess what, we are very happy. 44 years of being together, and it has been really good. This has been good. We got married in Mexico, and you know, honestly, at least once a week I tell my husband, thank you for being so persistent, because thanks to him I have the most incredible family. And so I learned a lot from that. And I have all these great children. I have 4 children, 2 son-in-laws, 2 daughter-in-laws, and almost 7 grandchildren. And thanks to the persistency and the kindness of my husband that he waited for me, I'm so happy.
And before you guys get too smushy about this, I have the movie rights, so I don't need to apply. I've got this. But I'll give you maybe some free passes. We'll share. We'll share the revenue. I had to have you tell that story because
it's hard for me to tell that story.
That was just amazing. Beautiful. Now that leads me naturally back into copper. No, it doesn't. But enough of this. It's it's emotional. But copper is an emotional material, and we're allowed to do this. And so your region is so completely rooted in this one material in particular. Where did it become part of your life? At what point? What made you think this is going to be my calling?
You know, I really love copper since I was a little girl. I was exposed to copper all my life. My grandmother, my mother, they all have made their shirts in copper pots. We have copper pitchers, we have copper little glasses. They believe that copper was good for you, not for the things that we understand now. But in the past, I remember even the lady that worked in my parents' house. She had a copper coin all the time with a band around because she thought she could, she thought that was good for her rheumatic problems.
Yes, can you got it?
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's good.
So, but to me, copper was always, and I'm telling the truth, an incredible material. I just love the look of copper. I love copper when it's shiny, and I also love copper when it's patina. I think it's elegant, I think it lasts forever, I think it's the real thing. I mean, it's not plastic, it's an investment that lasts. We are doing this by hand, you know. Hammering and hammering, and it's a piece of art. One thing, when I was doing, at the very beginning, when we decided to go with copper, we,
Silencio!
Okay, don't worry. They were using copper just in very rustic environments. And that bothered me a little because I thought it's such a beautiful material. To me, it was more beautiful even than silk. So I wanted to take the copper to a more contemporary level and to take advantage of the shiny copper and to develop some finishes like the gold, the silver, the polished nickel, the multicolor. So is where my love developed for copper. That I wanted to do some different things.
It's interesting. And, you know, we do have some claims to do with copper. You know, lots of people have copper bracelets and all of those things. So I think we were talking earlier a little bit. There's the sheer beauty. And sheer beauty is arguably something that impacts your health and well-being because you look at it every day. But I also think there are some elements in copper itself. And I hope this isn't embarrassing, but earlier you said that you were 11 when you met your husband, and that's almost 60 years ago. So if you are the idea of what happens with copper, you are no longer. I had no idea, but very close. So you're just absolutely stunningly gorgeous and young and vibrant and beautiful. We'll be right with you in a minute. But, you know, I think it's important. I think it's important to think about these things in terms of the warmth and beauty of the actual product, but also in terms of the potential benefits that you know, copper certainly has in terms of, you know, medical benefits. But where did you start? So I was told, and actually I'm getting ready to invite another guest up here, but you yourself started a business first in smaller accessories.
Yes. I had a business with a friend, a dear friend that is from England, Teresa Palmer, and we, that little business, I'm going to be quick, happened out of a little depression. I had lost my parents, I lost them in 2 months. I lost my mother and my father. They were incredible, I adored them, and when they went, I felt like, oh, a piece of my life was gone. I didn't know how I was going to be able to cope. I adored my children, I adored my husband, but I lost my roots. And it was so horrible. So my partner Teresa had also lost a member of her family, and we were walking in a morning, and we decided instead of being so depressed, let's do something about it. And we decided, it was September, I think, so let's make a home show. Let's do a home show. She was a designer. We both love to design, so we decided to do a home show, and in 2 months we put together the most incredible things. We did, since I went to the circus so much when I was a little girl, we did deers and elephants and everything for Christmas and for the holidays. We did oversized reed, but we did 2 dozen of each pieces. So we had a home show, the people came, guess what? The next day we didn't have any merchandise to sell. So that was the beginning. That was the beginning of our wholesale business because we started taking orders, and then before you know it, we were in business. And it was wonderful because some of our customers were the White House, the windows of Tiffany's. Well, we had very fancy customers. To tell you the truth, it went great. And we had a lot of international customers. We did business with Qatar, with Brazil, well, a lot with the Middle East. And we unfortunately had to end that business because of a death in the family again.
But then it didn't stop there. And you moved on, and you did what you apparently always did and got back up. And said yes, because I think you're very good at that. And somewhere down the road, your daughter, Samantha Thompson came, and you two founded Thompson Traders together.
Yes, with Clifford.
With Clifford.
Yes.
Sorry, but this is a girl's name. So you guys can all meet Clifford later and ask him technical questions. We're doing the lovey thing right here. So, of course, we'll have lots of great questions. Before we go into it, I have to hear about this White House Easter egg hunt that I was told about.
Oh, it was fabulous. I didn't get to go to it, but I saw pictures about it, of it. And my mom went, and I think you went too, right? Oh, okay.
You know, Alex, I did.
She did, I think the eggs, Easter eggs that were 6 feet tall, Easter bunnies that were taller than the eggs. It was
Since I'm so short,
incredible.
I always try to do things big. Is that true?
So you can have all sizes sinks as well. So going from art and accessories, what was the transitioning point? What made you think? At what point did you consider coming to the U.S.? How was that connection made, and where did you guys decide, as mother and daughter? I'm completely unfamiliar with that concept of mother and daughter working together. No one tell Florence. She's still in baby mode. What happened? What made you guys decide that?
Well, you want to answer that?
Yeah, so my mom has been an entrepreneur since she was born. She'll tell you she took the food from her kitchen that the cook made and would set up a little stand outside her house and sell taquitos and whatever she could find and make money. She was always finding a way. And my brother Clifford has the same spirit. Since he was little, he'd walk around the neighborhood selling whatever he bought in Mexico, door to door. So my mom, her dream was always to have a business with her children. And Clifford and I had just graduated from college, and Clifford's like, let's bring things from Mexico. We love Mexico. We love the artifacts that the people of Mexico make, so let's start bringing things. And we went to one of our first trade shows, which was the Atlanta Gift Mart, and we had all types of things. We had chuspata furniture, we had carvings, we had beautiful glass sinks with gold inlay in them, and we had copper sinks. And the only thing that anybody was interested in was the copper sinks. So from there, we had somebody guide us and say, you know what, you're at the wrong market. You need to go to the builder's market. So there we went, my mom and I, because at this point, Clifford left us because he decided to get married. He's like, hey guys, I need to make money. This is not going to work for me right now. So we go to the builder's market, which I think was in Las Vegas that year. It's my mom and I. We're both very short. And here we are, both of us, not handy at all, trying to put the booth up by ourselves. Every night we left, we would pray that the booth would not fall over so that we would not find everything on the floor. But that show was incredible. That's what made our business. We had 900 people come through our booth at that show in 2.5 days. And we got home and we started taking orders immediately.
When was this? What year was that?
Oh.
14 years ago?
Yeah, it was like 14 years ago.
2005.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's how it took off.
Yes. And then we kept growing and growing and growing. And then the economy got tough. And we had a recession, and guess what? Our business kept growing, which was kind of scary because we didn't know what to do. But God is good. And I went to have lunch with a dear friend, and that makes me very emotional to Her name is Sue Starr. I had lunch with her because we belong in this study club together. And we were talking, and Sue said to me, Alex, how is the business? I said, Sue, thank you for asking. It's growing, 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 but guess what? I said, I'm having this repetitive dream. I am in the middle of a black ocean, and I do not know how to swim. And I have this dream every day. And she said, Alex, what about Freddie? And I said, Fred Starr, your husband? Are you kidding? Fred Starr was the CEO president of Thomas Lee. Took the company from very little to millions and millions of dollars. And he retired from that company and he went to work for McKinsey, no, from Natuzzi, president of Natuzzi, and again, a big success. Perhaps all you know who Fred Starr is. So I said, Sue, there's no way I can approach Fred. She said, Alex, why don't you talk to him? Of course I was very embarrassed to talk to Fred, although I adore them, and they have been my friends forever. I couldn't boss like that. I couldn't ask him for help. She said, perhaps he can guide you. Anyway, she contacted us. We got together with both of them. And Fred said, Alex, let me come and see what all of you are doing once a week or twice a week. So he started coming to the business. And then in a couple of months, he said, yes, I want to join you. So do you remember the story at the beginning? I told you about Vasco de Quiroga. Fred Starr is our Vasco de Quiroga. He organized us, he helped us. Thanks to him, Thompson Traders exist. We would not be here without Fred, and Fred is here tonight, and perhaps as soon as we finish, all of you, I would love for all of you to meet Fred and his family because he's a visionary, he's extraordinary, he's the most giving, incredible human being that believe in us, that help us, that has helped all my children and my husband, and we adore the Starr family.
And you guys thought you were all struggling in business. Guess what? Everybody is, and it's always good to share that and share the story. I think that's the way you get the most back. I know I'm going to get the wrapping signs sooner than later, but I want to ask you about the future of Thompson Traders. What's next? Where are you going?
Clifford, would you want to answer?
Yeah, with my mom and her creativity, you never know where it's going to go. She has the most incredible ideas. She comes up with the most amazing designs. But we are playing with new materials, new textures. So you'll see a lot of new things in the future from Thompson Traders.
We look forward to it, and we look forward to your amazing, amazing evenings in Greensboro. And we look forward to, in just a few moments, finding out who in this room gets to go and visit you in Santa Clara.
That would be wonderful.
That is going to be very exciting. And before we do that, and we're getting ready to announce that, but we'd love to take some questions in the room. So if you guys have some questions, I think we have a mic that can run around. If there's something you would like to know from Alejandra, Samantha, or Clifford, feel free. Yes.
Yeah.
Can you just describe the process of making a sink?
Yes.
Because I see these beautiful photos, but
Let me tell you, you can start in two ways. You can start with a chunk of copper, which is like a piece of stone. You take it, go from the heat to water, and hammering in between. When you put it in the heat, it becomes soft. So you do the hammering, and then you put it in the water. So it is a long, many hours of hammering and playing with the copper until you accomplish the final product.
The artisans that create the sinks have been in the copper business for generations. So they learned from their grandfathers and their great-grandfathers. And it's amazing to watch them because you see the precision of the sinks and you think, okay, maybe they're using something to guide them. No, they're doing it all freehand. Yeah,
300 years before the Spaniards went to Mexico, Santa Clara del Cobre had the best coppersmiths. They were experts. They were doing the most incredible things, and Don Vasco and Cliora couldn't believe how advanced they were.
Yes.
What's the maintenance on the sinks in terms of keeping the copper shiny or the patina, or do you let it? Do you let the patina develop? My mom had Revere-ware pots, and we always had to polish the copper on the bottom every time she used them.
You do need to clean the copper. You need to polish it. Right now, I have a gold copper sink, gold rose, which is the bright copper. And I have it on purpose to be able to answer your question. I guess what is the easiest thing to do? I'm in love with my copper sink. It looks so amazing. It looks so elegant, and it's very, very easy to clean. Actually, people came to my house like last week, and she said, "Mommy, let me see how long it takes," because it had a few spots on the apron because I didn't want to have any finish on purpose to see how it does. 2 minutes, and he cleaned with the copper polish, and it was shiny. I love it. Right now it's so fashionable. It's beautiful. Then if you have the black copper, it all depends. Like I have black copper in the bathroom forever, and once in a while, if you wax it, you won't have anything. It's like maintaining anything else. You know, we clean our surface, whatever you have. You do need to clean it a little, but it's not as people think, as difficult as people think, and it's so beautiful.
Cliff, do you want to add anything to the care and maintenance?
Yeah, I think Mom alluded to this a little bit, but it depends on the finish. We have 9 different finishes. We have finishes that won't patina and won't change. Our antique satin gold, our multicolored, our hammered stainless steel, our nickels, those won't patina and they won't change. With those, all we do is recommend waxing them every once in a while with a carnauba wax. Products that you can get pretty much anywhere. Very easy to maintain. With the black copper, so that finish that you see there in the image behind Mom and Sammy and Veronica, that's our black copper finish. It is probably one of the most easy to maintain because it patinas. It gets a very rich, very beautiful finish over time. Requires virtually zero maintenance. That being said, copper is not for everyone because it is a living finish. So, you guys in the design community have to know your clients and your customers, and if they want something that looks exactly like it did the day they bought it, copper is not for them. So something to keep in mind, but it is really easy to maintain. Very easy. The finishes just they develop and they get better over time. So.
Yes.
You say that copper mining is very common in your community in Mexico.
Yes.
So I'm assuming there are copper mines from which you are buying the raw copper. You're not involved in the mining operation.
No, we are not. Yes, copper, and buy the copper, and it's not recyclable. Don't buy recyclable copper.
Recycled. We don't buy recycled copper. We use
Yes.
first run copper to ensure the purity levels.
Yes.
More questions? I have one. Where do you get your inspiration? I was joking about that earlier, but what do you do when because your designs are incredibly creative. You've got these incredible flowers that have to find a space in my home. And what are you thinking? What happens? What is your creative process?
Anything. Wherever I go. If I go to a museum, if I go to a store, if I am outdoors. One time I went to the ocean and I saw the chips and I thought, oh my God, this is incredible. You don't need too much. This is beauty. And it's in front of me. So I get inspired.
Do you take pictures? Do you sketch?
I do take pictures.
Okay.
And sometimes I do a little drawing that nobody can understand.
We seem to work together very well. I do that all the time.
And lately a little bit of Play-Doh molding.
Play-Doh.
Yeah.
Sculptures and Play-Doh.
Sculptures. She came back from Spain and was very inspired by Gaudi.
Yes.
And she shows us this thing with Play-Doh to my brother and I were like, I'm sure it's going to be beautiful, Mom.
Yes, there's a question.
Are the sinks produced in Mexico?
Yes.
All of them. Is she making all the different, more contemporary designs, but they're all produced in Mexico?
That is correct, yeah. The majority of our sinks are produced in Mexico.
Thank you.
And all of the different finishes are done in Mexico as well.
Okay.
And all of our finishes are done by hand. So if you look at those finishes there, each sink is going to be a little bit different because each one again is done by hand by one of our accomplishments.
That's important to me. Great. Thank
Yes.
you.
How quickly can you produce and reproduce, say, a particular sink? Because your lead time is very good.
Lead time is very good. I know why our lead time is so good because it's our own factory. So we can control the time, we can control the quality, and the design too. If you have any specific thing that you want, we do a lot of custom made. Just anything that you want, we can do it.
If it's made of copper or brass, we can manufacture to your specification. So it's really a cool feature that we have, and our lead time is quick, about 6 to 10 weeks max, depending on what the product is. But a very quick lead time. You guys tell us what you want. We'll do AutoCAD drawings and get it back to you. And again, very quick lead time.
And if it's in stock, you'll get it quicker than that. Yeah.
Is it what's your size limit? I'm just thinking of how amazing this would look if it was a restaurant or a public space bathroom when you have this sort of long trough with lots of faucets leading into it.
Gorgeous,
Right?
gorgeous.
Yep. Everybody?
Yes.
I'll tell it to you later. Give me a notepad. But is there a limit in terms of the strength of the material? Is there something to be concerned
No,
about?
we've done, we're working on a project now for a new performing arts center. And there's 12, we have sinks that are 12 feet long with multiple faucets. We reinforce it with marine grade MDF underneath and then wrought iron as well. So there's, it is really limitless for us. We've done bars that are 12, 13 feet long with integrated sinks. So we're really very flexible there. We don't really have size limits.
I think it just has to fit in the truck.
That's right.
Can I just give a personal testimony that I wanted the Fiore sink for a room that I was doing, which is the beautiful floral petals. And the standard size didn't fit, and Kevin, my rep, I said I need it. We measured like 19 inches, 12 inches. They got it to me in like 7 weeks, and it was just incredible. It is a beautiful piece, and you can tell it's very smooth, but you can tell it's hand done. Like you can see the variations, and it's just a stunning piece, and I'm thrilled to be able to use
I
it.
love that sink, and I love the way you have it.
Well, thank you, but it was beautiful. It was the star of the show.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it was wonderful work. I remember your sink too.
Thank you. Please.
Thank you for the opportunity.
It was gorgeous. Thank you.
She's the girl with the Boston accent.
Yeah, I'm a Southie.
That's why I never assumed you lived in Boston.
I know.
It all comes back to that. So, if you guys do you have any more questions? A last question? Because if not,